We are back in the kitchen today and we are going to be cooking up some duck in one of my favorite ways to make it, which is duck burgers. If you guys haven't made hamburgers out of your duck, it's about time you try it because they work out really well, they're crowd pleasing, and they're just flat out tasty. It's time to do away with the jalapeno poppers. It's getting towards the end of October. We did it all through September with teal season and dove season. It's time to explore some new possibilities with your duck meat. So today, here's the equipment that you're gonna need. You're gonna need a grinder to grind the meat. You're gonna need a bowl, a cutting board, a knife, and you're going to need your duck meat. And you're also gonna need some type of fat, whether it be pork fat. I just have bacon. I like to use bacon to add fat into the burgers. I don't know if this will be enough. I don't want to open up another pack of bacon, so hopefully this will look okay. We're trying to just add some fat into the meat because duck meat is super lean and you need some fat in there to hold the burger together. So that's why we're gonna use some bacon. Now this process, it's really straightforward. I hope you guys can follow along and try this at home. Okay, first thing you're gonna need to do is just take your duck meat. You want it to be still pretty frozen when you're throwing it through a grinder. So just go ahead and cut that up into like 1-inch cubes, so then it'll just go nice and easy through the grinder and it will go fine. So this is actually like the perfect softness to go through the grinder. This is actually some teal meat from this season, so it's gonna be a pretty tasty burger. I know a lot of people are fans of teal. I like a good teal, but I think my favorite duck to eat has got to be a pin's head. Now we got the bacon, freezer burnt bacon. You can see how that's a little harder. I don't know how great that's going to go through, but I'd rather have the fat be a little harder than the meat. One other thing I like to do. I've got a metal detector, and I use this metal detector to find BBs in the meat because one, it'll mess up your mouth, and two, it can really mess up your grinder. So it's really easy. You just turn it on. Ooh. You gotta make sure you're keeping it away from metal, otherwise it'll beep at that. Just go over real quick, making sure there's no BBs in there. If you find one, just go ahead and cut it out. See, it works on the knife. So there's no BBs in there. If you guys want to pick one of these up, I'll leave a link to this one in the description. It's like 40 bucks and it works great for finding those BBs. I've got the fine plate on here. I'm gonna put a bowl over here and it's straightforward. You just pop the meat through there and grind it up. I'm gonna do the fat first because there's always like a little bit left inside this. So I'd rather have all the fat go through and have just a little bit of meat left in there. And boom, there you have it. We got our fat and we've got our lean. So we're gonna just mix that up. And you wanna make sure it's mixed up really well. You wanna get that fat incorporated into that ground meat. I think this is like the perfect ratio, actually. There's 7 teal worth of meat. And it was like 5 or 6 strips of bacon. So that bacon's gonna add some really good flavor to this as well. Whew, that's cold. Oh my gosh, my hand's frozen. There you go, it's mixing up pretty good. My hand is so cold right now. But you can see how quick and easy it is to just grind that up and get a good mix for your hamburgers. We could probably get at least 4 burgers out of this. This looks pretty close to maybe a pound of meat, maybe a little more. So we can get a few burgers out of it. All right, so we've got our meat and now we got to form it into patties. I've got a burger press I use on occasion. It doesn't work great. So I'm gonna just go ahead and do these by hand and see if I bet you we can get maybe like 5 or 6 burgers out of this. I mean, it looks pretty close to a pound of meat. So we got our 4 balls. They look pretty close to the same size. You really want to pack them in tight and then make your patty. I'm teaching you guys how to make a freaking hamburger. Okay, hopefully you guys know how to do this. Okay, that looks good enough. So I got the Traeger preheated to about 350 and I'm running the big game pellets in here. If you guys haven't seen this Traeger before, this is the Traeger Pro 780. I absolutely love cooking on this thing. Tons of space for a lot of different things. I've done chickens, I've done turkey, I've done burgers, steaks, pork butts, briskets, all kinds of other stuff on this thing, and I absolutely love using it. So we've got our burger patties. They're not necessarily uniform, but it's gonna work for now. I'm gonna try and season them with this Traeger big game rub. So we're gonna just sprinkle that on there now and then throw these on there. I've got a probe in one of the burgers so then we can see the temp and track that. So I'm guessing it'll take probably 20-ish minutes on 350. Go. All right, so the probe is reading about 140. I want to get the burgers up to 160 to 165. And something I like to do on the Traeger is to kind of smoke them for a little bit, kind of lower heat, but I want to get a good sear on them at the end. So I'm going to pull these off, crank the Traeger up to about 500 degrees, and then put them back on to sear them and finish them out. Man, these things look pretty good. They're getting there. They're close. They smell really good. Man, I'm washed out really bad. Man, these things smell really good, so I'm hoping they taste good. Just gotta wait for this Traeger to heat all the way up to 500 and then we'll finish these babies off and be eating them. It's a hamburger. You can make it your own. Do whatever you want with it. You want to add cream cheese and jalapenos and bacon on that? Actually, I want to do that pretty bad, but I don't have that, so I'm not gonna do that. But do what you want with it. It's the basics of it is grind your meat, add your fat, make them into patties, and cook them. You can do anything with this meat that you can do with ground beef. So it makes your duck meat more versatile, and you can use it for hamburger helper or anything like that. So it's definitely one of my favorite ways to do it. We definitely have a good fat ratio in there. They look good. Back on they go. Slice of cheese on there. Now it's time for the moment that we've all been waiting for, the old taste test. You gotta taste it to make sure it's something you want to do again. So I decided to get some bread out and make it into some buns. This is pretty good, and I want to recommend that you guys give this a try at some point this season. Make sure your fat to lean ratio is about 80-20, 80% lean, 20% fat. Grill it up how you like it, to your liking. If you're a rare burger guy, make it rare. If you're an extra well done burger guy, make it extra well done. I'm kind of somewhere in between here, and it's phenomenal. So really quick and easy. I mean, I started it about an hour ago and we're done. So go ahead, try it with whatever you got left in your freezer from last season, or if you got some new stuff just sitting in there taking up some space. Grind it up, make it into a hamburger patty, throw your favorite seasoning on it, and try it out. I highly recommend you guys give this a try. If you enjoyed this video, leave me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. You can follow me on my social media. I've got Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook, so be sure to follow me on there and stay up to date with what's going on. But that's all I've got for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will catch you on the next one.